cover that much time?
Oh, yeah, we had plenty to talk about. Let's go ahead and put this game on.
Did we?
Looks like we got Emma Handy lining up against... Wait, no, what? Oh, this is not... Okay, this is not Emma Handy. We need new titles here. But this is Will Pulliam playing against Emma.
Awesome.
I'm going to let Collins take over for me for this round, and I will be back in a little bit.
Collins, you're going to have to do a lot of the talking because I feel like I've just been screaming for 10 minutes.
Oh, boy. All right, well, I'm ready to cover some Magic, and we're underway.
Absolutely.
Here, is this the right button? Okay.
Yeah, get us out of here. Oh, no, they saw my pants.
Yeah. Well,
Dang it.
it's going to have to be all right.
Sorry, everybody. The apology. Got into it because...
All right. Well, so what a pretty exciting top 8 we've got here.
Yeah, that's why we got into it. It's
Okay.
so awesome. And,
Yeah.
you know, one of the things that we were noticing was, you know, a lot of the SCG grinders kind of rose above the NPL, and we were, like, pretty happy.
Yeah. No, for sure. We got Will Pulliam in there, Connor Mullally, Emma Handy.
Absolutely. And, these are Caleb Scherer.
Caleb Scherer.
Back from...
Love to see Caleb do
Absolutely. And with what deck?
well. There's only one.
Absolutely.
There's only one.
I loved this top 8. This
Yeah.
was like a top 8 that made me feel home again, which is fitting because I am currently in my own home.
That's true. We are home.
But I felt home.
Yeah. All right. Well, so kind of a slowish start for the players. You know, we got Ren 6.
So who do you think is favored here?
I like Emma's side of things.
We were saying that this is probably the type of deck that Emma's been eating for breakfast the whole tournament.
Yeah. Ooh, and a turn 3 Urza, pretty strong, with a lot of mana to back up. I wonder if the game's just over right now.
Honestly, it could be. And this is something that I was going to say, but I couldn't quite parse through like how exactly it would happen. But when there was a Pinted Prism on 2 and Will opted to cast the Renin 6, I was like, this is actually kind of dangerous because this could be it for Will. And then I was kind of like, well, I can't really figure out how. But, I mean, there's the sword.
Yeah. No, I mean, all we need is the... No, it looks like we're missing the piece of Thopter Foundry.
Sad to not see a sword equip here.
Yeah. Well, could be holding up some mana?
Oh, yeah.
Probably not.
No, the Pinted Prism has a counter on it.
So 3 mana.
It's a Metallic Rebuke.
Ah, okay. How many Metallic Rebukes are we running main?
Hmm?
Does Emma have access to Metallic Rebuke in main?
I don't think so.
I'm not terribly sure. But either way, looks like Will's going to have access to an Assassin's Trophy this turn. Definitely want to get this Urza off the board before it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Yep. And it looks like it's going to pair with the Renin 6. The Helix is going to pair with the Renin 6 to take the Urza off the board, which makes sense. I think that the Assassin's Trophy is definitely, you know, a much higher value card. It can hit any permanent, but if you can get use out of your Lightning Helix in this matchup, that sounds really strong.
I wonder if there is any way for Emma to have given Urza +1/+2.
That is fair. Yeah. You know, that's the cost of not equipping, I guess.
Listen, you tack the sword for half of the equip cost. I just slam that thing, I slide it all over the board when I have an Urza out.
Put it on something.
Oh yeah, who
It'll
cares?
be fine. Yeah. Maybe Helix and Renin 6 want to take out my Urza.
Yeah. Pretty heads up to slam your sword.
Yeah. It's Construct, I believe, is going to take out this Ren. And, you know, we already know that Emma does not have the Thopter Foundry in hand, unless she do it this turn. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of follow-up Emma's going to have after this pretty explosive start. Turn 3 Urza is pretty strong.
Absolutely.
If she doesn't have anything to follow up here, Will is going to be able to have a pretty nice sequence of likely Kaya's Guile to clear off this construct and, you know, curving that into a what I expect to be either a Niv Mizzet from this Bring to Light, but I could also see something like a Unmoored Ego coming out of this Bring to Light as well.
Right.
If you can Unmoored Ego the Thopter Foundries,
Yeah.
all of a sudden Emma's deck just turns into this kind of mopey mid-range deck.
The way to win is this construct, which
Right.
we can beat.
We can easily deal with this construct in
Yeah.
many ways. So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see what Will goes for on turn 5.
And I've talked about this with Chris. Will is a player who knows these sort of, to quote his literal brand, weird land strategies well enough to know what he needs to go for.
Okay, yeah. Oh, here's a whir.
This is a threatening whir. Fortunately, we were able to hold up Assassin's Trophy.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to spell the end of the game as we know it right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's gonna be a couple of Thopters, and I think that those are going to be able to pair up with this construct to put on a lot of pressure. I think that definitely means that it's more likely that Will is going to want to just go for the Niv Mizzet, and hopefully that can eventually find a unmoored ego, as opposed to just egoing and then getting hit a couple of times.
Kind of. You know what I'm thinking?
Surprised to see the untap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Will just kind of allowed the untap to happen without trophying the Thopter Foundry. I guess that's just because the Spring Delight might want to find a sweeper. So maybe Will is trying to set up a play pattern of end step hit Thopter Foundry with trophy and then untap and then bring to light for a Supreme Verdict or something like that. That seems like a pretty reasonable line and a pretty clean line. Okay. So we sacked the sword, and in response to that,
yeah, we're gonna get a couple of Thopters, and that was always sort of on the table.
And I think so. This is the upside of using the Bring to Light as a wrath here, is that Emma's going to be sacrificing some of her other permanents first. So she kind of lost her like other middling artifacts in exchange for Thopters, and now we're going to be able to sweep all of those up and leave Emma with just the
Sword of the Meek, Mox Ember.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm about it.
Yeah, it seems like a reasonable line. Also putting out an EE on 1, I guess that is looking to hit some Astrolabes at some point.
I mean, Will's mana is, I'm struggling, not ideal, I would say is like a good way to describe it. It is a good concession to Magus of the Moon, but if you lose your Astrolabes, you can find yourself, for example, Uro is a tough card to cast in this deck if you don't have access to Arkham's Astrolabe.
Right.
Well, actually, not cast the first time, but usually the second time.
Yeah, I mean, the second one becomes very, very tough. We're looking at Plains, Swamp, Godless Shrine. It's not a good one for Uro here. But yeah, I mean, as expected, Bring to Light. But Will's got some options here. I think that we want to probably start with a Supreme Verdict, and Will agrees. So clearing up all of the creatures there. No more Thopter Foundry to be worried about. Emma really needs some sort of follow-up here to stay in this game.
We'll see what she's got.
Yeah. It feels like Emma's kind of like hanging on a thread here where, she needs to draw very particular cards pretty quickly. But, Will just has, his deck is just set up to have gas for days. And if Emma's drawing things like Prismatic Prism, it's just not exactly what she's looking for.
Although, to be fair, kind of in her favor, and the reason I was sort of giving her the edge in the matchup, Will's sort of sitting a little cold to the combo right now. In terms of, like, if she has a Thopter Foundry, she has a lot in her deck.
Yeah.
The game is over.
It's true.
Which is, like, kind of nerve-wracking, if you will. Like, Kai's Guile doesn't fix that.
Right. Yeah. Sacrifice a creature not as good against, what she's got going on.
You can't exile a graveyard, really, to interact with the Thopter Foundry Sword of the Meek combo.
Yeah.
So,
Emma getting a little punished here. Emma had the option to go ahead and pop this EE on 1 before Will got to untap with these Astrolabes.
I think that would have been good to do.
She opted not to. I wonder if that means that there's another whir hanging out in her hand. I think that would be, pretty good for her if there is.
That probably is what that means. And that would have been well, I guess Will's tapped out, so, no longer tapped out.
Well, here's another Astrolabe.
You can get Snow-Covered Island, and do another Astrolabe, which sort of just plays into this whole,
Yeah, but I mean, I think he mostly just wants the card off of it, and he doesn't mind at this point. Now that the Uro's on the battlefield, definitely doesn't mind it.
And the pillars make it so you can just cast whatever.
Yep. So let's see if this were. Yep, looks like this is the were.
I mean,
And this is going to be a lot of Thopters.
yeah, Will's got nothing.
Emma's going to need to be careful to not run into these Kaya's Guiles with her Sword of the Meek.
I believe that she can handle it. I believe she's up to the task.
Yeah, but and here we might be seeing another Sword of the Meek coming out. I don't know what else she would want to get.
She doesn't have some of the
Bridge.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I like
have
that.
some of the more like value-oriented cards that you see a lot of the time in this deck. There's no, for example, Acre Wellspring in the deck.
Yeah.
She's playing 4 Goblin Engineers.
Right.
I would have a really tough time not just throwing an Acre Wellspring in the deck.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, your Goblin Engineers get to tutor whatever you want.
Yeah.
So the Wellspring is just a really excellent, one of to find in situations like this where you already have both pieces of your combo.
Yep.
And you're just kind of looking to get value.
But the deck does have a plan. The argument against it is, why would I need an Acre Wellspring? In this place, I'm kind of just fine anyway.
Yeah.
Which makes sense to me. So here, we'll probably notice... Okay, so hold on. Emma's
got 2 mana up. So she's still pretty fine fighting through 2 Kaya's Guiles.
Well, it's important
but
that
if she goes again...
She has 3 mana, right, because of the Pentad Prism.
Oh, the Pentad Prism. Okay, yeah.
You can't forget that Pentad Prism. It has a charge counter on it.
Yeah, true.
You might have gotten that confused with the trample counter.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at those earlier.
Yeah. So if you thought that was a trample
counter... There's too many kinds of counters these days. Yeah.
Yeah. The number went up by like 10 or 11 this set.
Right.
Like types of counters. And creature types also went up a lot in this set. We now have Hippopotamus and Otter.
Yeah. So Will's passing the turn here, I think in hopes that Emma was going to go for another Thopter there to be able to get her with double Kai's Guile. But I think that this Kai's Guile is most likely just going to be exiling the graveyard to get rid of this bridge. Yeah. Will, I've noticed this whole tournament, really loves drawing Thoughtseize when it's just not that applicable, or even just never casting his Thoughtseize. So Will, just this whole tournament, I've seen him with a Thoughtseize in his hand.
Well,
sometimes just from turn 1, he's just like, I don't need it.
Will goes, yes, Thoughtseize.
Oh, another one!
Yes, Thoughtseize.
Yeah, this is what I wanted.
This is good. Opponent, how many cards are in their hand even? Okay, so I could Thoughtseize my own Thoughtseize, and then I don't have to look at it anymore.
Yeah. So Emma's going to go for the swap of the Ensnaring Bridge, and I think this is going to prompt one of the Kaya's Guiles.
Crash. Uh-oh.
I suspect the modes are going to be Exile and potentially Sack, but Sack doesn't really get you anywhere. I think that the Sack would just be trading for a mana, which at this stage is not that productive. Yeah, went for a Sack. Emma's going to go ahead and get a Thopter to sacrifice. But this Kaya's Guile is going to answer this Ensnaring Bridge.
Right.
I don't think there's anything...
I don't believe that Emma can prevent an Uro attack at this stage.
Yeah. So Emma's going to have to fight through this Uro attacking every turn with the Thopters. And I suspect that is certainly possible, but, not very clean and is likely going to take a while.
Absolutely.
So just the other Uro getting cast from hand. Might as well cycle it.
They're not going to get cast this turn.
Yeah, probably want to hold up this Kaya's Guile. Emma playing it very safe.
Well, I like that. I think that Will is, and this is game 1, right? I'm not losing my mind.
Yeah.
So she knows that Will doesn't really have a way to beat Thopter Foundry right now, except for exile your graveyard. There's absolutely no reason for Emma to play into exile your graveyard because Will is just like kind of sitting cold here.
Yeah. I mean, Will's going to be able to generate a lot of value, but he really needs to get the Thopter Foundry off the board before he's going to really make any headway. So I think that we have gotten to the stage where we're going to start seeing about 5 Thopters a turn. That's going to be, in a couple of turns, a very significant um, air force that's going to be able to put on a lot of pressure and race.
Absolutely. Oh.
Glittering Wish. Okay, so
I'm thinking Wheel of Sun and Moon.
Ooh. Wow, that's actually quite the card that we could get here in this spot.
I learn fast.
Yeah, Wheel of Sun and Moon, definitely much better than Ashiok.
Yeah.
Because Ashiok you can pretty easily play through. It's too bad you can't Glittering Wish for a Boil.
I think Wheel of Sun and Moon's a little better in this spot,
Yeah,
but
I
Boil
agree.
would also be pretty nasty.
Boil would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder if we're gonna prompt an attack, or we're gonna attack first just to prompt something, to use the mana on. But no, it looks like we're just gonna go straight for our Glittering Wish.
Wheel in the sky keeps on turning.
Excellent. Yeah, Wheel of Sun and Moon. Good call.
The type of commentary you can expect from the two of us.
Yeah.
Me instantly knowing what to go with Glittering Wish. Just I guess I've just been playing Modern all week, so I'm sort of in tune with that type of thing.
Very nice.
Yeah. Waking up in the middle of the night going, Wheel of Sun and Moon.
I don't think I've actually ever seen this cast on Magic Online. Where's the permanent go?
It goes on your side of the field.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
kinda
going
sad.
to go right next to the Astrolabes.
Yeah?
Yep.
What about just on the other side of the lands?
I would be really upset.
Yeah.
I would pretty much.
What about up there with the Uro?
That would also be wrong.
Oh, but you know what is definitely going to change is the number of
Rose?
rows.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You just said yeah so cheerfully. I hate you.
All right. So Emma's going to take this opportunity to turn this into, turn the sword into a couple more Thopters.
Well, yeah, you have to right now because until you draw an answer for Wheel of Sun and Moon. And by the way, my thought is that her answer for Wheel of Sun and Moon is probably an engineered explosives.
Yeah, and you actually noticed that Emma made a pretty heads-up play there. She sacked her engineered explosives with the Wheel of Sun and Moon on the stack. So what that's going to allow her to do is use the Emery to get the engineered explosives back. However, it's unclear if she's going to want to put it on 2 because then that's going to blow up her combo as well.
Okay, but then your Emery can just get all that stuff back.
True. Will the Wheel of Sun and Moon put the Thopter Foundry on the bottom when they both... I believe it's going to put the Thopter Foundry on the bottom if they both die at the same time, though.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
That makes sense because it is a replacement effect.
Yeah. But, I mean, Emma's just not going to be able to combo unless this Wheel of Sun and Moon leaves the table. So
Right, so
I think
yeah,
it's a good start. It gives her the out of drawing another Thopter Foundry.
That's actually really good for Mima Handy.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah, because Wheel of Sun and Moon, more of a ley line effect, not a rest in peace effect.
So I think that we're missing. So that is good. It is kind of going to the Kaya's Guile is going to get in the way of all that.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that analysis is mostly just based on what Emma can see.
Absolutely.
I don't think she's going to have any recourse through this Kaya's Guile in response to her targeting it, though.
Yeah. So Will, I called him cold. That was my fault. I forgot about Wheel and Sun and Moon.
Don't underestimate a Glittering Wish. We got some cards in the sideboard.
Don't underestimate a Glittering Wish, indeed.
Yeah.
Wheel and Sun and Moon, I was talking about with Chris, perfect addition to this deck. Mm-hmm. The fact that it's a replacement effect on entering the graveyard is really strong. The fact that you can get it off of Niv Mizzet really strong in Glittering Wish.
Yeah.
Kind of just like a card that's always existed but has never been quite so perfect, the correct piece of graveyard hate.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, Aurora really changed that in a big way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you see that Chad Harney top 8 at this event?
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. What's Chad playing?
5-color Niv Mizzet.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, very excited.
The Team Tempest Chad Harney, not the Team Nova Chad Harney.
I see. Okay. Great. Um, yeah, so Emma's been able to develop a little bit of a board state, but I wonder if Emma had been a little less conservative with the number of thought twists she was making, if she would be able to more effectively race this board state.
It's tough because Uro like basically makes it so you're attacking for. I think that she could have made like three more thought birds without getting just completely blown out by Kaya's Guile.
Mhm.
So like she was playing pretty conservatively, but like correctly guessing that there was some sort of graveyard interaction. Um, so if she had been like riskier by a degree of like two or three more Thopters, she would have lost her Thopters.
Yes, that's true. There were a couple of turns where she definitely chose the exact correct spot for um, what she wanted to do there. So leading with Goblin Engineer might not work out in the face of this Kaya's Guile. I think if she had, oh yeah, the cards are just going to go on the bottom anyways. Cards can't enter the graveyard with the Wheel of Sun and Moon out.
Right.
Um,
Goblin Engineer kind of perplexing to me there, but maybe there's something I'm missing.
Honestly, I think that a play that I liked in that spot was use Emery to target the engineered explosives, and if that, when he responds with the Kaya's Guile, you could potentially get the engineered explosives back in play to save it from from getting exiled with a Goblin Engineer, but I just don't think that really makes any headway here.
It's like it's like kind of doing something.
But the problem is then like you can't like get it back in the graveyard because the Wheel of Sun and Moon is still on the board, preventing that from happening.
You need another E.
Yeah.
So it kind of doesn't.
It doesn't really do anything.
Confound it, these kids and their newfangled Wheels of Sun and Moon.
It is a much more interesting play pattern here. All right, looks like Emma is gonna go for the Pithing Needle. I wonder what the Pithing Needle is gonna name.
I think you named Teferi 3.
That would be good. Teferi 3 is in hand.
Can we see longer? Oh, yeah, looks like Teferi 3 was the name. Oh no, they named Ren and 6.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Kaya's Guile really doing a lot, and Bring Light was an incredible draw here. Bring Light's going to be able to find a Niv Mizzet to just keep the action flowing. Could find I don't know if there's another Wrath in the main. I think that might have been already used up. We're going to lead with the attack. Get both of these in here. We're racing.
Let's leave the one with flyer back.
All right.
What are we doing? Let's leave the one with flyer back.
Yeah.
Bring to Light, a little awkward here in the face of Damping Sphere.
Yeah, we got some mana though. We can cast stuff.
True.
No worries. Got to be careful with these pillars though. You can't use those to pay for Damping Sphere. Or can you?
I think it's a multicolored spell you can.
Yeah, all right. Never mind.
Yeah, all right. Wow. Let's see what cool cards we draw.
All right, we've got a couple.
Another Bring to Light. That's every card in our deck.
It is, pretty much.
Hooray. We'll Pulliam a master of sort of picking up his deck every turn.
Yeah. That's 160 options.
Oh no. He's used to having more when he plays Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picking up his deck three times.
3 times with 2, and you get 2 cards, so that's...
Oh man, it's like 300 options right there.
Becomes difficult to calculate.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Yeah. Yeah, it's really up to Will to try to, I think, close from here.
Isn't it more than 300? Because every combination of 2 cards is
significant.
Yeah.
It's not, that's the reason I find the joke funny, is because the real number is
really big.
A lot higher. All right. So Emma's kind of back on chump block duty here.
I can already see the analysis from Will on Twitter. Where he's like, it's a lot like Titan. You're attacking with 6/6s.
Yeah.
You pick up your deck a lot.
Yeah.
And you have weird lands and that you have to play in a certain way.
Targeting the Thopter Foundry is interesting.
Oh my goodness, it doesn't matter that much.
Um, I'm kind of curious why you wouldn't target one of your own astrolabes. Oh, I guess we're... Oh, the Thoughtseize. Will's looking for spots to cast a Thoughtseize.
He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe I should put one of these on the stack.
All right, I'll cast one of these.
All right, I'll cast the
Thoughtseizes.
Thoughtseizes.
Okay, yeah. Get the Thopter Foundry on the bottom of your library, thanks.
I'll Thoughtseize it.
Yeah.
With Thoughtseize.
Goodness. All right, Will has done a really excellent job this game establishing control. Oh, hello.
Did you say the bottom of my library?
Had one on the top as well.
Here's what happens when you bottom a card on Moto. You draw it.
Yeah.
That's just true.
I just like to imagine that for a moment in time, Emma's deck was a Thopter Foundry sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
That's commentary right there.
Except for, do you usually name a sandwich for the things on the top or bottom? Wouldn't we call most sandwiches bread sandwiches if that were true? Shut up, Jeremy. All right, that's fair.
Yeah, come on, Jeremy. Yeah. That's enough of that. Talking about sandwiches over there. What are you doing?
Wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah, somebody in chat. Wait, cast the Thoughtseize? I know, we forgot it was in his hand. I did. I was like, I don't know.
There's still two of them in there. He can't get these Thoughtseizes out of his hand fast enough.
Hey, I'm gonna Thoughtseize.
Oh, man.
It's not worth it. 2 life for a Goblin Engineer? No thanks.
Oh,
yeah!
Yeah, now we're getting these out at lightning speed.
Amazing!
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Will's going to have to be careful not to deck here. He definitely needs to close out this game.
18 cards versus 36 cards.
He's drawing 2 a turn.
Uh-oh.
So that's not great.
He doesn't have to draw 2 a turn.
He can bring to light right now if he wants.
Well,
Probably not.
just take a draw. So
What would you even find?
Yeah. Look at 18 cards.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be controversial. Do you like Lightning Helixing this Thopter with the Sword of the Meek on it?
I mean, we can kind of, like, all of these creatures represent 6 damage, right? So you can kind of just Lightning Helix whatever, whenever.
Great. Thoughtseize, you didn't draw us up again.
Yeah. Maybe that's why Will likes holding onto these Thoughtseizes so much, is because he knows that the game is going to progress to a point where he has to ferry out, they have no cards in hand, and you can really just, prompt a concession with your Thoughtseizes. He's been all about that today.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I liked that. I thought that Will was sort of sitting cold. I called him sitting cold in this game. And
he really turned it around in a big way.
Wheel in the sky kept on turning.
It really was all about that wheel. Let's bring in these boils, why don't we?
I think Boil's good here.
Yeah, boil's probably good. The other Supreme Verdict is definitely a good way of cleaning up a lot of Thopters.
Interesting that Kai's Guile's making its way in the deck. To be honest, I don't find the card phenomenal.
So there's Emery, and there's the Goblin Engineer.
Right.
I think that those are both cards that really utilize the graveyard in a big way. So, I can see wanting access to all of them. Interesting sideboarding here. Will is opting to board in all the cards that he really wants and board out the Glittering Wishes.
That's fine, but I think Will would be remiss not to have a copy of Wheel of Sun and Moon accessible. That just seems really strong.
True, yeah. If we're... Wheel of Sun and Moon is definitely, I think, a big element of his plan in this matchup. So I would imagine that the wheels are coming in if that's the plan, but...
He's got to make a lot of cuts here.
It doesn't... Yeah, got to make a lot of cuts, and it doesn't look like he's even considered the Wheel of Sun and Moons yet.
Crazy. Whoa! You never got this on the SCG Tour. We get to commentate on sideboarding.
Yeah, true.
Probably not great that deep into my second tournament I'm realizing that we get to commentate on sideboarding.
We're in topic. Yeah.
Let's talk about sideboards.
Yeah, get these Wheel of Sun and Moons in here. We need these.
I cautiously mentioned that I think that he would be remiss not to play them.
Taking out the Unmoored Egos.
I think that's fine. I don't think the Unmoored Egos are terribly good.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of scenarios where there's just not something good that you're going to be able to hit.
It's probably true that every card he has in his deck right now is better. Cool.
Got the Niv Mizzets, got the Boils, got the Supreme Verdict.
With the possible exception of Thoughtseize.
Yeah. Get these Thoughtseize out of
Get out
here.
of these
Yeah.
board.
Playing against combo deck? No.
No. These are non-functional cards.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Ooh, we can be
All
up
right.
all this.
I like this configuration. I think that you want to... No, we're getting ready to jump into this.
Thoughts for next time.
For sure. All right. This hand, it's a little land light, so would really love something like a Wren to kick things off. But
Will decided
Yeah.
no.
that makes sense to me because if you're gonna Thoughtseize with that hand, you have to fetch out Snow-Covered Swamp,
Yeah, and then
and then you
really
just
in a
off
bad
of
spot.
Wren. So I understand. Will likes this hand though, keeping a bunch of lands. Will likes lands. He's a weird land guy. Do you know that?
Yeah, this is a weird land deck.
Yeah.
Pillar of the Parents.
It's a weird land.
Rare from Guild Pact that is happy to be experiencing a new era of appreciation.
Yeah. There's not a bad draw here. It's going to ramp right into the Spring Delight, so you can see that. Unmoored Ego, I would imagine, would be one of the things that Will would be looking to get down kind of early in this matchup. But he's taking those out of his deck, so he's not going to have access to that. So more likely he's going to want to fuel up with something like a Niv-Mizzet.
Yep.
He looks just a turn too late there, looks like. Emma's going to be able to get the Thopter Foundry into play from her graveyard with this Emery.
That is unfortunate. The
Yeah.
cost of a 2-mana removal spell in Modern as opposed to a 1-mana removal spell.
It is a big difference. Yeah, if this was a Fatal Push, this Emery would be off of the battlefield by now.
But Fatal Push not gettable by Niv-Mizzet.
Yeah.
Um,
You gotta have some multicolored spells.
I think ideally you'd want like a hybrid.
There are hybrid, like, pings,
Yeah, but not.
but
anything more
not
than that.
nothing like a shock, I don't think, exists.
That makes sense. Be a little too versatile. It'd probably be kind of ubiquitous and standard.
Yeah. What about a split card?
So the one that I'm thinking of is like Carnival Carnage,
That's
which
the
is a ping.
that's the ping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there like a isn't there like a split card that
There's Turn and Burn, but it costs 2 on both sides.
it costs 2.
Yeah.
Turn
Even
it, yeah.
even the old school Fire Ice,
Sure.
2 on both
2 on
sides.
both sides. Okay.
Oh, I think the one I was thinking of is actually just red and red. The one that Living End used to play.
Oh
The-
yeah,
But still not.
Dead and Gone.
Dead gone, yeah. So I wonder, yeah, it looks like we're going to take the time to Helix this. This does come at a cost of being able to bring to light a turn earlier, but I think that getting the Emery off the board is...
Oh, it's huge.
Pretty crucial
You know,
here.
a big sigh of relief probably from Pulliam not to see a
the
Thopter Foundry.
Yeah, the Thopter Foundry. It looks like Emma is low on lands, so she likely is going to be trying to draw more cards, which is why she opted not to go for the Thopter Foundry, so...
She did miss a land drop.
Yeah, we might even just see the Spell Bomb cycled as well.
And no land from
Yep.
Handy. The mulligan to 5 hurting here.
Indeed. So Uro's going to come down, get a couple of these lands into play, and then if Emma's going to be stuck on 2 lands and... ooh, that was a pretty good draw. If Emma's going to be stuck on 2 lands and this Bring Light's coming down next turn with a Niv-Mizzet, that's going to be really, really tough to come back from.
We'll content to play the Ren 6 this turn, I think. That makes a
Yeah,
lot of
makes sense to me.
Yep.
Get some of these lands.
One of these lands.
Yeah.
Ren 6, I've been playing a lot of Ren 6 Uro decks lately.
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit of a tension between those 2 cards.
I've noticed that. I was actually going to mention it here, is that picking up the land is nice, but losing out on, a card in graveyard for Uro,
Well, you can never get
not great.
2. You never put 2 fetch lands in the yard. Like, ever.
Yeah. I think that's going to be all right, since I expect this turn we're just going to be really loading up with a Niv-Mizzet.
So the way that I've rationalized it and explained it to my Twitch chat in the mornings is like, yes, this is kind of frustrating, but I have a Ren 6, so that's been pretty good. What do you think about a Boil here? Aww.
Oh, you know what?
What do you think a boil would have done?
That would have been quite interesting. Bring to Light can get sorceries in instance. Yeah, okay, great. So
Ring light can get boil.
it can certainly boil. Wow, that's a lot of boils that he's got access to.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what I don't like about boil is that it blows up your steam vents.
Well, I think that we're going to be all right with lands.
Oh,
with
never mind.
this
Yeah, we have a
rune
written
six.
so we can get our steam vents back.
Yeah.
And in fact, blowing over steam vents might make us able to cast this Uro sometime next year.
Yeah, get that steam vents in the graveyard, honestly.
Finally.
Yeah.
All right, Armageddon, both of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would not be surprised to see a play pattern similar to Trophy or Emery Boil next turn.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. That would be pretty much lights out for this game, I would imagine.
It's good.
Ooh, Mox Amber.
Ooh, that's a land.
And a Teferi.
Free fairy.
Okay, that is a land.
Aggro bouncer Niv Mizzet? Yeah, I'm
All
gonna lay
right.
you out this way.
Okay. Oh, there's another island.
Uh-oh. Another island, not really what you want. Honestly, if I'm Will Pulliam,
So,
I can't resist the
Ping
boil here.
Teferi, Trophy the Emery, Boil.
Yeah.
That's my line. We'll see what Will comes up with.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally my line as
Yeah.
well.
Definitely got to lead with, yeah, all right. Okay, so far so good. Trophy on Emery. Oh, just thinking about it. Trophy on Emery. Maybe.
This is agony.
Really debating it.
So, you know what is that you could leave the Emery in play and it's like fine.
I don't know.
My thing
If
is
I'm
if
on
you're
this
boiling,
line-
yeah, if you're boiling, then like just get rid of everything.
Yeah, because there is a bobble in the graveyard,
Right,
so
why-
even with no lands,
Yeah.
and also the Mox is in play as well.
Yeah, I think you slam the door in her face if you trophy into
Yep.
boil. It's really important that you don't boil into trophy.
I mean, it's not that. It's still a triple stone rain, but
Come on.
I would certainly not do it the other way. Maybe there's a counterspell that he's worried about. All right, look at this boil. Yes, boil.
Boil.
All right, so boil on the stack trophy, maybe. Yeah. Okay, we got there.
No hope for
All right,
you.
maybe there's just a concession here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not gonna let you boil. So it was a pump fake. Even
You're not gonna
Assassin's
boil
Trophy.
me. Okay.
Assassin's Trophy mana. Wait, I actually thought of a better way to do this.
Maybe I can induce the concession first.
Yeah, and we'll bring it back. This
All
is yeah. So that was our that was a quarterfinals.